All right, Brighton, it looks like it's just going to be the two of us. I didn't know you had a cat. What's his name? Oh, I like that name.
What is it?
Cosmo. All right, so we're going to do math this morning, and we're going to do our math fluency. We're going to go over some things that we've already learned. If other people join, that's great. If they don't, then it's just you and me today, okay? Okay. We're going to go over several. Oh, here's Guadalupe. I thought we had Guadalupe. There we go. Good morning, Guadalupe. Unmute your mic. Turn your camera back on. All right. I want you to round this number to the nearest 100. What would it be, Brighton?
900.
Good job, 900. What if I said round it to the nearest 10? 800. What is it?
850.
850. You know what? 850. I like that you included the 800 because that's the whole number. You can't just round it to 50. Okay? Guadalupe. I want you to do the next one. $647. Can you round that to the nearest 100? Good morning. What did you say, Jaden? Because our Zoom was messed up, so I had to make a new meeting. So we had to change it to 10 instead of 9:30. But Guadalupe's answering this math question. Guadalupe, I want you to round 647 to the nearest 100. What I want you to do,
700.
not 700, you're going to look at this 4 in the tens place. That 4 is going to tell you if you're going to go up to 700 or go back down to 600. Any number that is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 is going to round up. If it is 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, it's going to round down. So look at that number again, 647. That 4 is telling you, is it going to go up or down? Down. So it's going to go down to what?
500.
Why would it go to 5? What's this number right here in the hundreds place?
6.
So it's going to go to not 500, but
600.
good job, 600. Now, Guadalupe, I'm going to have you round to the nearest 10. So instead of looking at this 4, we're going to look at this 7. Is our 4 going to round up to the next 10 or down to the next 10? Is it going to stay in this tens place or is it going to go up to 5?
Up.
So what would our whole number be? 600. Is this 4 going to go up to 5 or is it going to stay at 4? So our number would be 600 what? Nope, just 650 because this 7 is gonna go to a 0. I think you need a little bit more practice on that, and everybody might need some practice. So I'm gonna start putting some of that back in there so you all can practice.
Chantel, could you come to the office? Chantel Boyd, to the office, please.
All right, our next thing we're gonna go over is we're gonna go with our regrouping. Our problem is 764 minus 573. Let's look in our ones column. Can we subtract 4 from 3? Or 4 minus 3, can we do that?
Minus 3.
Yes, 4 minus 3, can we do that?
Yes.
What would our answer be?
1.
6 minus 7, can we do that?
No.
No, so what do we need to do? We're gonna borrow from where? Look at the board. We're gonna borrow from our hundreds place from our 7. So our 7 is gonna go down to 6. We've borrowed 10, so our 6 over here in the tens place is gonna become 16. What is 16 minus 7? And anybody can answer right now.
Nine.
9, good job. What is 6 minus 5?
6 minus 5 will be
1. So our new number is 191. Does anybody have problems with regrouping? Do we need more practice? Guadalupe, do you need more practice with regrouping? Okay. I will make sure I put some of those in your work for next week. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do a little multiplication. 3 times 2 equals what? 6. Good job. 5 times 4 equals
4 times 4 equals
20. Good job, Guadalupe. Let's see. 9 times 4 equals
9 times 4 equals 36.
Good job. Ooh, I'm gonna do a hard one, so I hope you have paper. Do you have paper? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do a hard one.
Alright, I made it all the way to my 12th.
40 times 60.
40.
I said it was a hard one. While you solve that, I have to get something, okay? Does anybody have the answer yet? Brighton, do you have the answer?
Wait, what was it?
It is 40 times 60. Now remember, when you solve this, you can do it like this, 40 times 60, where you will have rows and columns. So it's taking you all a while. Let's do this together. What is 0 times 0? What is 0 times 4?
0 times 4 is 0.
Good job. Now we're going to move to our tens column. We've done everything in our ones column. Let's do our tens column. What is 6 times 0?
We have a question.
What is your question, Jaden?
Is the 264?
No!
Is it close?
You're still in hundreds. This answer is in thousands. So let's keep going and you'll see it. What is 6 times 0? Yes. 0. What is 6 times 4? 24. Good job. Now we need to add this all up and solve. What's 0 plus 0?
0 plus 0. 0 plus 0.
Okay, let's do it again. What's 0 plus 0?
0 plus 0.
All right, over here we're just going to pull down our 2 and our 4. Put our comma in. What's the answer? 2,400. Good. Now, I told you it was a little bit harder, but you guys did a really good job. All right, I want you guys to look at something. What is this? It's a square, but we're in math. It's a quadrilateral too, but we have rows and we have columns. I want you to look at it real close. What would we, how many are in here? How many do you think? It's a what block? It's a hundreds block, child. Hundreds block. This is also known as array. Okay? So we have 10 going down in this row, or in this column, and then 10 going across in the row. So it's 10 by 10. If you multiply 10 by 10, you would get 100. So there's 100 little blocks in here, okay? Now, I want you to understand that rays, when we have arrays, this has a lot to do with multiplication. So if you're not good with your multiplication facts, this is the time when you need to start practicing them. Okay? What we're working on today is called square numbers. Does anybody know what a square number is? Right, and have you ever heard of a square number? Guadalupe, have you ever heard of a square number? No? Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. A square number is a number multiplied by itself, like by itself. So like, for me to give you an example would be like 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. Now, I'm going to show you how this would look as an array. Are you ready to see it? We're going to make a square. We're going to have 2 columns and 2 rows. So over here is 2, and up here is 2. So 2 times 2 will be equal to 4. It's any number that you take and you multiply it by the same number. So let me show you another array. Are you looking? I'm gonna try to make it as big as possible. Okay, don't talk about my squares, because they're ugly. This is one column, an array.
Yeah, they do that.
Why?
Because that's not an array.
That's what it says in the book.
You better show me. Go ahead. I want to see what you do. Because this is what an array looks like. I don't know what they do with that book. Chunks. Should be like- You don't have any squares.
How many do we have in this row?
Three,
Oh, wow.
What about this way?
three,
They use squares or you use dots.
It doesn't matter, because even if you end up with, keep them.
What is 3 times 3?
3 times 3 equals 9.
Good. This would be our square number 9. Okay? Come look.
I don't know why they use the square, maybe because they call it a square number. I don't know.
Okay. This time we're gonna use it with dots. No? Okay, we're gonna keep going.
At least that was the purpose to call it a square.
I have to do my numbers right.
There you go.
There we go. How many do we have here?
4,
How many do we have at the top?
4,
What would our square number be?
12, wait, no, 16.
16. How did you get that answer? But am I adding or am I multiplying? Okay, so I don't want you to use addition. I want you to use multiplication. So what you did was you multiplied 4 times 4 and you got your square number.
That's what I did.
You could do repeated addition, but I really want you all to focus on multiplication. Because it's gonna take you a long time to do repeated addition, whereas if you just do your multiplication facts, it would take less time.
What if you had 25 times 25?
Hmm?
Think about a big number. What if you had a big number?
Yeah, so think about if you had 12 times 12. Do you have time to write all those 12s out and add it? I mean, you do, but it's gonna take you a lot longer, especially if you're taking a test. You really need to know your multiplication facts. So here's another square number. If I drew it out, oh, that's ugly. You have 5 over here, 5 over here. You're multiplying 5 times 5. Don't say anything, Jaden. You've been giving all the answers, and that's good, but I want to hear from other people. Brighton, I want you to try to solve this one, okay? I think he's frozen. Brighton, can you hear me? Brighton, can you try to solve that one? Brighton, do you need help? Huh? Good job. 25. Now, what we're gonna do now is I want you all, we're gonna look at the computer. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay? Let me get my ducks in a row. That's different. Or maybe I won't. Remember we looked at this? Remember we looked at this? Okay. I'm gonna use this marker and I'm gonna draw on it. Can you see my dots? Okay. I want you to look at this and tell me what will be the square number. If you give me the equation first, it would be blank times blank. I can get it closer. Six. Okay, I'm back. Count that again for me. Count it again. Oh, it is 7. I did it wrong. I'm glad that you looked at that. Okay, try it again. See, even I make mistakes. All right, try it again. All right, 6 times 6. Raise your hand if you want to try to solve this. I don't want you yelling out the answer, Jaden, because I see that you're good at multiplication, but I want to give other people a chance, okay? So I want you right now to think about or try to solve 6 times 6. When you have the answer, you can raise your hand, and I will call on you. I think this blue one is too dark. All right, Jaden, what's the answer? 36. Good job. Why? Why do you know all your... Yeah. That means you practiced it, which is good. Try this one. 8 times 8. Jaden, do not say anything. If you don't know the multiplication, what is another way that you can find the answer for 8 times 8? You could use what? You could use what? What type of math can you use if you don't know the multiplication? Repeated addition. So if you have to use at repeated addition, you're gonna add 8 plus 8, 8, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do it that way. So I would like for Brighton or Guadalupe to answer the question, because Jaden's been giving all the answers and I appreciate that. I'm glad that he knows that, but you all also have to participate. So get your paper out, and if you have to use repeated addition, that's fine today.
You done?
Are you still trying to find it? How are we doing? Brighton. Say it again. So what's your total answer, Brighton? Do you have one? If you don't, that's okay. No, and if you do get it wrong, it's okay. I want you to try though. So don't feel like, well, my answer might be stupid. Your answer's not stupid. Okay? Your answer is not stupid, but you gotta try. Okay? What do you think the answer is? 68? 58? Guess what? You're really close, but it's not 58. Jaden, what is the answer? 64. You see how close you were? You just needed to add one more 8. Well, it would write if I. Alright, so now what we're going to do I want to do we've already found our square numbers, right? This is gonna be kind of hard for you to see. I got confused this morning. I said that was an array. It was not an array. What we had with those blocks were just square numbers. This is an array, what I'm about to show you, okay? An array does not mean it has to be a square number, okay? So I want you to look at this and tell me what my multiplication fact would be.
It's different.
Let's count it. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jaden. What is 4 times 6?
4 times 6. 24.
24. Let me give you another array. Because you're going to be working on arrays and square numbers tomorrow. Today is just square numbers. Ready? What's my equation?
3 times 8.
3 times 8. If you don't know this, you can do repeated addition, which would be 8 plus 8 plus 8. Or you can do 3 8 times, which would take a lot longer. So what is 3 times 8? Guadalupe. Close. Try it again. You're really close. No. Write it down, Guadalupe. What's 8 plus 8? Huh? What is 16 plus 8? $24. You got it. Took you some time. So what I want you to know is, like, on an array you have rows and you have columns, right? Each row will have the same amount of numbers. Each column will have the same amount of numbers. But the rows and the columns do not have to have the same number. It's not like when we did our square where it had 5 rows, 5 columns. An array can have 3 rows and 5 columns. It can have 7 rows and 2 columns. It can have 2 columns and 7 rows. It just depends on how you form it and how it's laying out. Okay? Let's try another one. This would be a rectangular array. What would be my math equation?
2 times 4.
You do, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 2, which would equal 8. Do you get it? Is anyone confused? Okay, let me repeat it. A square number is a number that's multiplied by itself. So that would be like 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 1 times 1, 6 times 6, okay? An array is different. An array, the columns and the rows do not have to have the same number, okay? So when we did an array right here, you had, you can use a rectangular array, like this is rectangular. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Wait a minute, columns, rows go this way. We have 2 columns, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay? Another array that we can do would be like this. We can have 4 columns and 5 rows. And if we were to put this in an equation, what would our equation be? How many did I just point to? Brighten. Brighten, watch my fingers. Brighten, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4, and we can multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 4 multiplied by 5 would be what? Thank you, Guadalupe. 20. Do you get it now, Brighton? If you don't, let me know. Oh, he froze up on me.
Of course, not a good time to do that, is it?
Brighton, there you go. Do you get it now? Brighton? Do you get it now? Yes? Guadalupe, how about you? Are you sure, Guadalupe? You need a little bit more help? On what part? So you have problems with multiplication? Okay, so what I'll do is, I could get an IXL and put it in today for you all to practice multiplication. Would that be good? Brighton, would that help you out a little bit? Yeah? Okay, I'll go find an IXL and put it in the math, so that's an additional practice that you can do, but I want you to do the work first and then practice your multiplication. Or you can practice your multiplication first and then do the math, but you need to get the math assignments done first. Or you have to get them done, period. And you have until tomorrow to get them done. I gave you all a whole week to get this work done from Tuesday to Friday. I think I gave you to Saturday, actually. I gave you to Saturday. Okay? So today, let me show you what you're going to do in your math. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Let's see. Are you looking? Can you see my screen? Hello? Okay, good. Today is Thursday, and guess what? Ha ha. For some reason, that tab is not working, so I'm gonna have to edit that tab. Let me see if I can do it right now. Nope, I have to go to pages. All right, give me about 10 minutes and your math will be in there, okay? But I can show you the assignment, duh. Let me show you your assignment for today. You're gonna solve the following problems and enter your answers in the text box below. So this is the home link that you guys are going to do today. Up here it has the factors. What times what gives you 4? And remember, it has to be a number that multiplies by itself. So what times what equals 4? Right, so you write 2 times 2. So number 1 would be 2 times 2. What is 4 times 4? Huh?
4 times 4 is 16.
All right, so your number 16 will go here. Then you have to solve for the last 2. I'm not gonna go over that. What patterns do you see in the factors? In the products? We've gone over that, so you're gonna have to write your answer. What other patterns did you see on the table? You'll have to look at this table and see what patterns you see. Then you're gonna write an equation to describe the array, which is what we've been going through today. So on this one, you would look 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times what? I'm not giving you the rest of the answer. You're gonna have to find that up there. You have to do that for A and B. It's gonna ask you which of the arrays is shown above is a square. You're gonna put either A or B. You have to explain why. Why is it a square? And we went over that last week, what makes a square a square. Then at the bottom, you're gonna have to find the patterns, write the answers in, and then tell me what the rule is. So if it's plus 10, plus 5, if it's minus 3, you're gonna have to put the rule over here, okay? You got it? All right, any other questions? All right, you know how to get a hold of me. You have my cell phone number, you have Dojo to get a hold of me. You also have email, FaceTime. However you need to get a hold of me, call me, okay? All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
She didn't know. They still ain't told her.